What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pete TK Bland back in the building for another episode of the Shop Podcast. Everybody, we are live once again, another Saturday afternoon. Thank you, people, for joining us live. I appreciate the love and support here. We got a great first time guest. You guys know I always like to reach out, get people. I want to hear people's opinions. This guy has been a staple in the community. He's been a big subscriber of mine. I appreciate him so much. I appreciate the way he thinks, the things he tweets. He is a awesome gamer, OG gamer. I'm gonna put the OG tag on it because he'll tell you about his collection and things like that. But Mr. Moto, go ahead and give yourself a shout out, man. You're the guest of the hour today, man. Let everybody know where they can find you at, man.
Well, right now they can just find me on Twitter, Mojo Blues. Mojo is my cat. It's pretty bizarre. It's also my tag, whatever, online. But yeah, and OG Gamers right. Yeah, I started back with a Sears Telegames Pong machine, and then moved to the Atari 2600, and then eventually an NES and a Genesis, Super Nintendo, and on and on. Yeah, I had a PC engine, not the Turbo Graphics, but I actually had a PC engine because I was in the military living overseas and had a friend that had just come from Japan, and I ended up buying that from him, a handful of games for it. And so I've just been collecting systems and games ever since.
For sure, man. He's just a real connoisseur, real collector, man. Once again, find him on Twitter. I'll make sure I put his handle in the description below, guys. Follow us on Twitter. We're all down there. Everybody who is part of the Shop Podcast, please go follow us. Thank you guys so much. So appreciate you being here today, Moto, taking a little bit of time out this afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and talk about my right-hand man. Shout out to Zarka, by the way. We're going to get you back on, Zarka. We're going to figure this thing out, man. Figure this damn time thing out for sure. But we're going to get it done. But shout out to you, Fuzz, man. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, man.
Hey, Fuzzy Belvedere here. Ready to talk about some games. Glad to have Mojo on here. And man, it's been a strange week in video game news. Microsoft has dropped some doozies, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But definitely been catching up on some Division 2. Hadn't gotten into Anthem like I wanted to, but the weekend isn't over yet. So
oh yeah, me and him gonna play tonight for sure. You already know it.
But yeah, glad to be here. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. Let's dive in today. And once again, man, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. Follow us. All of that information is in the description below, guys. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, man. We will hit that before the end of the year, man. For sure, that's gonna happen. But let's go ahead and dive in to the topics today, man. Appreciate all you guys watching live. Mr. Kima just shot in here. Appreciate you, bro. So for stopping in, and tell your friends, make sure they come too. So let's dive in. First topic, man, we're talking about Respawn Star Wars game, man. So this is a game that's been hinted at. We've heard a lot of things about it. We knew that they were working on this. We haven't seen anything about it. And finally, they just dropped some information about the game, and I'm extremely excited. Extremely excited, okay? Now, you guys know we have not had a fucking decent Star Wars game this entire generation, okay? Those Battlefront games were disasters. The last one was a huge PR disaster with the microtransactions and all these crazy things. And you never had a single player story, and it was just broken. So this is sounding like and shaping up to be. It's called Star Wars Fallen Order. It's shaping up to be a single player experience, man. They're focusing on combat, lightsaber, and abilities and Jedi abilities. I am so excited for this, and I feel like they're finally taking the time to put the right people behind this game. But we're going to get your opinion first, Mojo, about what do you think about this game? Did you get a chance to see the article? And what do you think about just based on what you read?
Oh, I'm unbelievably excited. This may end up being my game of the year. Single player, no microtransactions. Wow, it was so needed. And they didn't use that crappy engine. How they got EA to let them to use what is it? The Unreal 4 for it. Wow. Yeah. That is amazing. Vince Zampella and yeah, I don't think he's ever made a bad game. Whether it was back when he was making Call of Duties or now with Titanfall. And I'm not a big multiplayer game, but Titanfall 1 was amazing. But then the single player portion of Titanfall 2 was
great. Oh my God. It was
And
great. It was
yeah.
incredible.
So, like you said, the right people making the game. I don't want to say at the right time because this should have been 3 years ago, but how EA got the rights to make. You know, at one time I read that they were supposed to have like 15 Star Wars games being worked on, and
Oh
yet
yeah,
that was, and I know it was a number that big, and yet there's been 2 online
mediocre.
very mediocre games that yeah, they look pretty, but yeah, the playing was just not. This wasn't there, and yeah, they really floundered that whole having the rights to do those games. So I'm hoping that they open that up to some other companies, but at least we're gonna get a good one now. I have no doubt.
Awesome. Awesome, man. I'm so excited because I mean, like you said, I don't know if you guys know, but my favorite Star Wars games are the Force Unleashed games. I love both of them, 1 and 2, the amazing single player. There was no multiplayer or anything, but I went through that single player both of those games probably 80 times a piece. I beat it on every single difficulty, maxed out every single character every single time. Like I just had so much fun with those games, and I've been waiting for an experience like this from Star Wars. We deserve that, man. I'm not even like a super gigantic Star Wars fan. That's my daughter, by the way. But like, I just want a good Star Wars game. God damn it, I feel like we deserve that. There's enough there. I mean, the movies are always back and forth. Man, can we at least get a good game?
Amen.
Like, we can't even settle on a good movie. Can we at least get a good game? So, Fuzz, I don't know how you feel about this, Fuzz, but I know you're excited, Fuzz, because I know you
Yeah.
mentioned we've been talking about this for probably a year now or so. So I want your opinion about this too. Are you excited about it? Did you get the chance to read the article?
Oh yeah, definitely excited about it. Considering how many games, just like Mojo was talking about, like there was talk of like 12 to 15 plus games they were supposed to be working on. They canceled more games than they produced. It just it's been disappointing up to that point, but with the news of this coming out, with the people that are making it, the fact that it's not in Frostbite, which seems to be EA's Achilles heel on a lot of their recent releases, it definitely bodes a little bit better than what we're hearing about Dragon Age. But that's
Oh my
another
goodness.
story for another time.
Yeah.
But as far as the way things have, at least from that article on the new Jedi game, it's like perfect timing considering you got Episode 9 coming out this holiday season. It's like all the planets are aligned now, and hopefully people support this game and not think that it's just going to be like Battlefront 2.5 or something ridiculous. But I have a gut feeling with this thing being a single player experience, people are going to flock to it. There are probably going to be quite a few people that do a speed run to it, so I don't know what type of hours we're talking about as far as content, but it's definitely going to be a wholehearted improvement over what Battlefront was. And just to have something where you can play as the Jedi throughout the game, have abilities, skill trees and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what we should have had after Battlefront 1. So, but
Yeah.
can't wait. Just can't wait
yeah.
till this thing comes out.
And that's the big thing too. That UE4, man, that shit's crazy. Gears of War uses it. A lot of people use it, and I mean nobody uses it like Coalition uses it, but it's such an insane engine, and it's so versatile, and it's not nearly. I mean that Frostbite engine, it's a beautiful engine. Like when it works, it's a beautiful engine. Like the balance as far as like draw distance and I'm getting super technical here, which I'm not even like that, but all the little unique perks about it are amazing. But UE4 just works and it's beautiful and it's so versatile. So I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely diving in for sure. I don't know if this game is going to be this year. You guys thinking we see a release date at E3?
I think they'll at least bring it up or at least show some gameplay. It would be nice if it's in time for the holidays, considering the movie's coming out. I mean, if they can do that type of timing, it's going to be a out the park home run from the gate. I mean, just because of the movie.
Wasn't the first Battlefront came out near the movie?
Yeah, and I think it sold ridiculously well for the fact that the movie was right around the corner.
Yeah.
So, and even though the timing of what was in the game didn't match the storyline for the movie, they later added some of that content to kind of match things up. But it sold just because everybody that's been waiting for a Star Wars movie was anxious to also have a
Get
Star
anything.
Wars game. So it was like a 1-2 punch. They were, well, I was fine with what was it, episode 7, I guess it was, but some people were a little underwhelmed in comparison. It was like, oh, it's a repeat of the Empire Strikes Back type of deal. But no, having this game, if they could do it in time for the holidays, it's going to be sold out as far as physical copies go, because the fans that may not necessarily be in the games are going to buy it just as fans of Star Wars in general, and then those are that are fans of gaming as well as Star Wars are going to buy it in droves, probably digitally, but they'll probably buy steel books or collector's editions depending on what's included with them too. But fingers crossed for like a November launch.
Yeah, it's got to be with the movie coming out. I see it, and they come out with Apex Legends out of nowhere. I got to believe they've been working on this a while, and they're timing it with the movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I mean, you don't even have to think about that. Logically, that's business 101. You got one of the biggest franchises, the biggest cult following. They're gonna go see the movie. Why not put the game out around the movie? You're just gonna piggyback off the success. So it's all going in the same pocket. So just makes business sense at the end of the day. So I'm excited about the game. A lot of people are. I'm really, really excited that they came and said something about it now. Because we hadn't really heard much about it. There were some rumblings here and there, but we hadn't really heard much in the way of what was going on with the game. And Apex Legends, I think, only made this game more important because I think it showed that not only do we have the capability to work on a level or AAA level and handle something, like a AAA level title like a Star Wars game, we can simultaneously put out a free-to-play game that's now, I mean, is it okay to say Apex Legends stole some Fortnite thunder?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, did it put a dent? I don't know how big of a dent, because Fortnite still, I don't know if it's still number one, but I think it put a sizable dent in Fortnite.
When they definitely put a dent in their sales or in transactions and active users, but Fortnite kind of came back with what was it, the free seasons thing or like the battle pass for free if you just do some of the challenges. So they just like what Epic is trying to eat away at Steam, they found a way to kind of come back at anybody that's coming at their dinner plates. So they went with the free battle pass on, do some of the challenges. You'll get a lot of the skins and things like that. And that pretty much brought back, a good handful of those that were like, oh, Apex Legends is fun. Oh, wait, I get free what? Yeah. And then, hop right back on to Fortnite. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that was like splitting time between them, but I'm going to take a wild stab at it. If you're under 20, you're probably still playing Fortnite. If you're over 20, a lot of people are probably just staying with Apex and calling it a day. That's just my take, at least except with the exception of my kids. They're well, actually they've given up on all of them. They weren't really into Fortnite, played Apex, get back to PUBG a little bit, and then go back to Apex, and then they go back to Rainbow or one plays Division, the other one's back at a sport game. So yeah,
I had heard they actually started the Star Wars game right after Titanfall 2, well before they even started on Apex. Apparently at some point EA went to them begging them to do a free to play, 1v100 or whatever you want to call it. And they threw that thing together. I don't know how. I've never read or how long it actually took them to do it, but I heard that they were actually doing the Star Wars game well prior to them ever even doing the Apex. So that's why I'm thinking this Star Wars game is going to be amazing.
So did they stop doing the Star Wars, or did they separate?
No, they just took part of a team and put a team on Apex, but they still had a Fallen Order team working on it constantly all the way through. They have about 230 people. So I would imagine maybe they had, I don't know if it was half or how many, but its work never stopped on it. It continued on, but then they set up another team that did Apex.
That's amazing. That's really fucking amazing. Shout out to Respawn, man, because I didn't know what they were going to do after Titanfall 2, man. The sales didn't do what it was supposed to do. Although, if you have not played Titanfall 2's campaign, please do yourself a favor. Go play it. The game's cheap. You don't have to spend a lot of money to buy it. I think the shit's like $20 or maybe even less than that at this particular point.
Yeah,
go buy it.
Almost nothing.
Yeah, you got for almost nothing. Go buy it. Play through the story. Do yourself a favor. It's amazing.
It's kind of like
It's
Prey
amazing.
now being in Game Pass. People that haven't played Prey this generation, wow, that game is amazing. And how it didn't sell more, I don't know. But some games just seem to fall through the cracks.
Yeah, true. Good point. Good point. So that was a great opening topic, man. You guys know how we do it. We jog it out to begin with, but we pick this thing up as we go on the show. Once again, if you're here and you're brand new, even if you're not new and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the podcast and the videos be seen. So moving along with these topics, man. So we're gonna be talking some Days Gone, a little PS4 here, a little PlayStation here, guys. So I know I'm not extremely high on Days Gone just because it seems a little bit all over the place to me. I had one opinion on it, and that changed slightly. And then every time I see a version of it or hear something about it, it changes a little bit. So I don't know what the game's supposed to be. I've had my own opinions about it over the time that we've seen it. But I definitely want to get you guys' opinion because reviews will be coming out. I think that the date was the 25th. Not that I'm a review guy because I'm not. I made a whole video about it. If you don't believe me, go watch it back in the archives. I'm not a big review guy. I always like to do my own research. So but what do you guys think about the game? I mean, at this particular point, now that we have a release date, essentially, what do you guys think about the game? We're gonna start with you, Mojo. What do you think about Days Gone? Were you high on it to begin with, or what was your opinion?
Originally, I was really low on it. I thought it was just going to be another poor cinematic game that was mostly watching and not actually playing. And even the looks of it, if you go back 6 months, a year ago, the clips that were shown, I didn't think it looked that good. But they've really, after that last delay, they've polished it up. And I believe that it will get some Metacritic love because most Sony games do. And I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be a really good game. But here's the thing. I think World War Z is the better game, even though it's from a smaller dev. When I see clips of that one, I'm like, man, that looks like balls out action. And that's the one.
I said that too, but I just don't know how good it runs. With all of that going on, I don't know how great it runs. That's my only concern.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I mean, go ahead, Mojo. I know you weren't finished.
Back to DayZ's. I think it'll be fine. They've got it looking to a certain level, and I'm pretty sure the gameplay mechanics will be good. And I think it'll be a really good game. I don't think it's going to be a must buy or anything, but I think it'll be worth picking up. I'm planning to get it. I mean, I got the Pro, and I don't have a lot of games for it.
Yeah,
and to stick to their exclusives and some. I've got the VR, and I've got most of that stuff. But yeah, when they drop an exclusive, they tend to do a really good job. So
yeah,
I think it'll be fun.
Okay, cool. You know what? That's funny because, like I said, I've been back and forth about Days Gone and what it looked like, because I thought it was really safe for Sony to do that. Like it was a safe game. It wasn't much of a like veer off the beaten path. It felt very much like The Last of Us with motorcycles. You know what I'm saying? And zombies.
Yeah,
but like
Uncharted with zombies.
Uncharted with zombies. It's still in that same vein. Don't get me wrong, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it's like essentially it's a two-way street there because, like you said, they do very well when they do drop these exclusives. They've done very well this entire generation. The quality tends to be there, so I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. I do obviously want to see more. I'm sure they're going to show more at E3. We'll see more about the game. I'm certain of it. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm kind of up in the air about it. So it's on you, Fuzz. What do you think, man? Are you a fan? Not a fan? Days Gone?
It's a zombie game, so I'm definitely buying it. Kind of got disappointed when the was it the Walking Dead game kind of got canceled at the last minute, I think for a console or something. That one originally I was looking forward to that, and then they kind of changed it up from being a story-driven thing to kind of like a Left 4 Dead deal that wasn't quite polished type of deal. Yeah. Also looking forward to World War Z, but Days Gone is one of those that I'm gonna probably pre-order right after the reviews because the only thing that has me just a smidge concerned is I'm on the standard PS4, and I want to make sure that they still have the hordes, and that it's not going to be like choppy or anything like that. Like when what was it? Horizon Zero Dawn came out, that played like butter, whether you had a standard PS4 or you had a Pro. What was it? One of the other games that they did I forget what it is now, but One of them didn't quite
Detroit?
play as well on the PS4. It may have been like Shadow of the Colossus or something like that.
Oh,
If you had like a standard PS4 versus a Pro, but as long as they can get those hordes working without any problem on a regular PS4, I'm definitely getting that, pretty much, before the midnight hour on the 25th going into the 26th. But been looking forward to the game for a while. Kind of got worried when they delayed it, because I would have figured this thing should have been out last year. But it's more than likely for the best for them to delay it, polish it up, tweak some things, make sure that the thing plays flawlessly from launch day. But I hate when they do the reviews one day before, but it is what it is.
yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think the game is going to end up being decent. I think the game is going to be pretty good. I don't think it's going to be a bad game. So I'll wait and see. I'll reserve judgment. Obviously, once the game comes out. So we'll definitely see, man, for sure. So once again, another great topic. So once again, if you're just filing in, say hello in the chat, man. As I ask the panel these questions, I do ask you guys as well. So let's go ahead and get some interaction in here. Appreciate you guys joining us live as well here this evening or afternoon. I'm sorry for some of you guys it may be evening. So next topic, guys. So this is actually a real fun one. I definitely want you to start on this one, Fuzzy, because we're going to be talking, Xbox talking about Google Stadia, saying it lacks content. It lacks content. It has a good infrastructure, but it does lack content. That's a very, very interesting statement. Very interesting statement. So I want to know how you feel about that, or do you feel like that's something that's a concern, or do you feel like that's even a thing that we should even talk about right now?
It's you got to give them that for having the balls to say that out loud, type of thing. I not to slam Xbox, because it's my preferred console, but it's like they can only say that because they know from experience, type of thing. Like this generation, they've been light on the content after the launch. Like the launch, they had a knockout lineup, and then after that, it was kind of like dribs and drabs throughout the years. Not to say that Sony was steamrolling it with content from launch, but it seemed like they had a flood at the beginning of the gen, and then towards the end, it was like 2 a year kind of thing. And then Sony kind of, were like 2 in the beginning. And then it's like they had a couple of years of 3 and 4, along with like the third party exclusives. It kind of, padded that a bit. But to have them take shots at Google, really? I mean, come on. I mean, it's business. I guess they have to. And, they're not wrong for saying so. I mean, unless Google has something that they're going to pull out of their butt as far as like an exclusive studio. Well, they have I guess they did mention that they do have an exclusive studio, but who knows how far along that is as far as being able to produce a game or something like that. But I don't know. I think Google's not really worried about exclusivity type of thing. They're just going to be, hey, play us everywhere, play all the, the hot titles except for, console or platform exclusives, but play all the other stuff for probably a little bit cheaper, whether it's on your browser, your phone, your TV from 5 years ago, whatever the case is. But I just thought it was a little ballsy for them to be like, oh yeah, they have a lack of content, and they got the infrastructure, but the content that's key. Well, obviously, obviously, Microsoft knows that now, considering how many studios they've picked up, and that's the whole push now, is to have the content, for or one game every quarter type of thing. But I don't know. It came across a little weird, like the pot calling the kettle black type of thing.
No. Super, super interesting, man, for sure. So it's just crazy. Like I don't know if that's a good idea. I also don't know if it's a bad idea. I'm just not sure. It's his particular point. It's just crazy. I think it's crazy to think that like Google is really, really entering this space when a lot of people weren't sure if it actually was going to happen. A lot of people didn't think that Google was serious about actually entering the console space, but they're serious. Not traditional console. Let me speak. Correct here. Just console, that even in that arena, people didn't think they were going to even take that chance. And the fact that they are, It's kind of telling about how serious gaming has taken, just especially this generation. As far as pop culture, just culture in general, how big of a deal it's become. It's growing every year. People take it a lot more serious now with esports and things like that. So it's becoming a way of life for a lot of people. So I want to get you guys' opinion. I want to get your opinion as well, Mojo, on that about the Days Gone.
Oh, we're on Stadia, right?
Oh,
So
sorry, Stadia.
Sorry. Stadia, whatever they want to end up calling it. I just wish Microsoft would stop worrying about Google and Amazon. They need to be worrying about Sony. And content wise, I don't always agree with everybody, not to sound like a Microsoft fanboy, but I've actually loved a lot of the games in the last couple of years. What Sea of Thieves is now, and my God, State of Decay 2. I have like 130 hours in it. I just love it. I know it had flaws when it was released, but it was kind of expected. First, Microsoft didn't own them at that point in time. It was a AA game from a very small dev. Had a cult following from the first game, but all those stuff they released, I was fine with. They're not going to be able to compete with Sony in those big cinematic AAA games. I don't think anyway. So for them but they know content is king. And yeah, I guess most people believe that they're lacking in content. So for them to say that Google isn't going to have content is pretty funny. But yeah, they might have had some journalists say that for them instead of like somebody from Microsoft saying it, because it just kind of came out funny. I shouldn't say funny. I don't know what the right word for it is, but yeah, it was not a good look.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say on it is.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty brazen as well, too, to say that at this particular point in time. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, we're critical of everybody on the show. I've talked about Microsoft, throughout the years as well, about my discernments and disinterests, and some of the things that they do there. But over the years, we keep it real, man. We just talk about gaming. We talk about what's really going on. So that's what you're looking for, man. Come check out the Shop Podcast for sure, because that's what we do. But yeah, Xbox, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on Stadia just yet. I mean, I got to see more. Obviously, there's a lot of fundamental, things that I'm concerned with, as far as obviously latency and how it actually works when you're not in a perfect situation. When you're maybe in a Uber on the way somewhere and you want to play, I don't know, fucking God of War, or you want to play whatever other game that they offer, Madden or some shit.
Yeah.
Does it work very well then? So it's a lot of practical applications that I'm not sure with. I'm not sure how great it's going to work. I felt the same way, though, to be honest, about the Switch. And the Switch doesn't seem to have that big of a problem in that regard. That not having that huge infrastructure didn't really hurt the Switch as far as the online capabilities, although it is a capable machine for what it is. So I don't know. I don't know if the Stadia is going to have those issues. So I'm really, really curious about.
I worry about not just lag, but compression. I have amazing internet. I'm out in the boonies in East Tennessee, and I tell you what, I have great internet. But even when I'm watching movies or streaming TV shows and stuff, you'll get blockiness occasional, or it'll jump down a level of quality. If I'm playing a game, that can't happen. It'll just take you right out of the immersion. And then, of course, there is the whole lag thing that I believe you're going to have it with it. I don't think they've solved that problem completely. I'm hoping that Microsoft is going to be two different ways with their version of it. You'll be able to have a piece of equipment at home, like they've said, where some of the stuff's going to be on your dedicated little box, and then the rest will come from the cloud. And I think there's going to be xCloud that's just cloud-based also, because if you're not at home and you're playing on your phone somewhere, you're not going to get have that dedicated part of it. So I think they're going to be doing it both ways.
But
either way, I'm not a fan of streaming games. I don't. Why can't we have a box on your TV? I've always believed that's the way to go. But again, I've been doing this for so many years. The thought scares me of not having a box under my television. And I don't mind my box doing other stuff. I love the fact that the PlayStation 1 had a CD player in it that was actually fairly high end. The PS2 had a decent DVD player, and for a lot of people, that was their entry into getting a DVD player because of the price. You know, and then the PS3, my God, it being PS1, 2 back compatible and Blu-ray, awesome. I like a box under my TV.
Yeah. So I mean,
I used to scream about anti-digital. No, got to have my physical game. This gen, I have 500 plus games on my Xbox.
yeah.
They're all digital, so it's like, you know, even an old dog can change. So maybe at some point, all of a sudden one day I'm gonna be like, wow, you really don't need a box. This plays great. It looks great. I'm good. I just worry, without that dedicated box, which seems to me that you can always put hardware that would make the games look and play better than you could with streaming. At some point, 4 years into a streaming service, 5 years into it, at what point do your games aren't going to be as good as they could be if you had that brand new next gen box where you're that part of it? I don't know. It'll all play out. I don't think it's enough to really worry about.
Yeah. That's definitely a whole nother show we could do about that for damn sure. A whole nother show we could do about that because that's been a big thing in the community, man. So I know everybody here, we talking about it right now. So I know for sure it's been a big community. I'm gonna give a couple of shout outs here. Shout out to Graphic Guy, my boy J Dubs. He does the logos, man. One of the best guys as far as doing logos, and he does a lot of shit for a lot of people. Shout out J Dubs. Appreciate you stopping in. Born Distracted just dropped in. Appreciate you, my mod of the year, Sean too. Appreciate everybody else watching us who's not in the chat. Love you guys so much. So yeah, man, that's I feel you on that, man. That's tough. That's tough, especially when you're a connoisseur like yourself and you've always had that, you know, like that physical. I'm the same way with books. I can never imagine myself not holding a book in my hand. You know, like I cannot do the tablet, the you know, Kindle and all of that.
E-readers,
I can't do it. I can't do it. Bro, I pick them things up and I'm like, there's no way. I don't feel the. I don't know. Call it. I don't know. This may be stupid, but call it like I don't feel the connection. You know what I'm saying? Like the work that was put into it, I don't feel that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It's just a weird connection.
Even though I went digital this gen with Xbox, I still buy my PlayStation games physical because I only get the exclusives. But I'm not just a gamer. I'm a movie guy, hardcore.
Yeah.
I have thousands of movies. I've got a Laserdisc player. I probably have 500-600 Laserdiscs.
Jesus.
When DVD came out and was going to kill Laserdisc, I sold about half my collection. And then over the years, everywhere I've moved, I just lugged these big boxes full of Laserdiscs, but I just love them. They're like vinyl album covers with the movie and stuff. But anyway, yeah, physical. I like those. I have my movies. I like to be able to, and I have Netflix. And it's great. Now I binge TV shows. I watch movies, but at the same time, sometimes I just walk over to my entire living room has bookcases all the way around full of movies. I pick me out different stuff. So I'll have me little marathons on the weekends and silly stuff. But I like having that disc and it's mine. I don't have to worry about them dropping a title off a server because not enough people watch it. And I worry about that with games too. Once we go all streaming, if there's a certain kind of game I like and everybody else hates it, they can just pull it off. Hey, we only had 10 people play this game and it's gone. And I was one of those 10 that loved it. So
yeah, that's a real concern.
Yeah,
that's a real concern.
Said, we can do a whole show on that topic. Yeah. I want to back off on it because I'll.
I know it, man. I know how passionate you are. I told you guys he's a real authentic gamer, man. So I know how passionate you are about that. That's crazy.
And
so
feel free to cut me off anytime and say, "Whoa."
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely
I will get on a roll about stuff.
Yeah, like this is your first time watching. Hell no, I don't ever do that. No way. Uncut. I don't edit anything. So there's no post editing after the show. Everything goes up live. So forget all that, man.
You mentioned J Dubs. I wanted to say I need to have him make me a gamer pick, tag, whatever you want to call it. All you see now on the screen is my flat top, which I thought you might have caught my face when we first in the pre-show thing. I haven't had a haircut in about 3 months, so I'm not all nice and tight like that. I spent 20 years in the military. And I like looking like that on the picture, but anyway, yeah, I got to have him do me something now.
Okay, hit him up. Jay, hit him up, man.
I think I want to keep that hair, the real picture of my real hair, but have him do me a cartoony face.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah. But yeah, I'll get in touch with him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hit up Jay, man. That's the go-to guy in the community, man, for sure. So, man, we're going to go ahead and let's talk about the poll of the week. And if you're new here, you guys know. If you're not new here, obviously you know. So we're talking about the poll of the week every single Monday. I do a poll of the week, and then we talk about it here on the channel live on Saturday on the Shop Podcast. So poll of the week this week was real fun. You guys know I like to throw curveballs. I don't like to stick to the same thing. So poll of the week. It was said if you could only pick one game genre to play for the rest of your life, which one would it be and why? So some of the options were first person shooter, which was 25%. RPG, which actually was a winner, was actually 55%. I actually wasn't surprised at that. Platformer was 8%, and other was 13%. So I wanted to ask you first, Mojo, for that particular question, what of those options would be your one? One game, one genre, I mean, not one game, but one genre for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I think I actually answered the poll other, and I went with some old school stuff. But the truth is, yeah, RPG you got to go with because you need those hours. You need that. If a game's a 100-hour game, it usually takes me 300 hours, or I can get 300 out of it because I'll try everything, every place, every combination of whatever. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm going that way. But I think when I actually answered it online on the poll, I think I put other, and I threw a comment something about old school spaceship shooters or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's not the game you would want because you'd burn out on it pretty fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a pretty tough question because you think of a genre, you're trying to think of longevity is obviously the first thing you think of. How long can I play the same genre? How would I get the most bang for my buck? And RPG seems like an obvious pick because those games tend to take longer, all the side quests, everything that's involved. They have these long drawn stories, things like that. So that makes sense, for the particular question. So I'm curious about your answer, Fuzzy. I don't think you did. I don't know if you did RPG. I don't think you did. So
No, I went with other, and it's only because I was thinking RPG because I'm heavy into the Division, and it's basically like a looter shooter RPG kind of mixture. But my other go to has always been like an open world like sandbox where it's usually third person, not necessarily RPG elements because Grand Theft Auto, it's just steal stuff, blow up stuff, shoot stuff type of thing. So it's whatever you want it to be type of thing. And the only reason why I figure like an open world sandbox is because in those you almost have a little bit of every other type of game. Like in perfect example with Grand Theft Auto, you can play tennis, you can play golf, you can be a taxi cab driver. It's a driving game or a racing game sometimes. Other times it's a third person shooter. Although on the new generation consoles they turned it into a first person shooter as an option, but open world sandbox exploration doesn't necessarily need the RPG elements to it as far as gear or skill trees or anything like that. But I don't always consider like Grand Theft Auto really an RPG. It's more of like an action sandbox type of thing. But that's one thing I probably wouldn't get tired of until 3 or 4 years later because I'm one of the knuckleheads that bought Grand Theft Auto 5 for PS3, Xbox One, PS4. If I had a PC, actually, I had considered getting a PC just so I could do the mods for it for PC. But I know I wouldn't play any other games because I'd be busy doing mods at that point. But yeah.
Okay, so that's a safe pick. Safe pick. Now, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, I obviously, like I said, RPG seems like the obvious pick just because it feels like you get the most bang for your buck. Witcher and those kinds of games you can play forever. Now, it's kind of a loophole because I mean, can you include Division, Destiny? Those are like hybrid games. They got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
They're a little first person, a little third person, a little open world, a little RPG with the skill trees and leveling up and things like that. So it's kind of we got this like weird genre, that I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know if there's an actual name to those
games as a service, ongoing games as a service.
Games as a service, I guess you could call that. Yeah,
ongoing genre.
Yeah, so it's a new genre. So I guess you can include that. I guess that would probably be my first choice in all actuality because the Destinies, the Divisions, they almost have infinite replayability as long as the player base is there. You're always going to have stuff to do because, like you said, it's more of a service than just a game. Because it's supposed to last far beyond the initial shelf life.
Yeah.
Maybe the first year or so. Usually, game drops off like that, but these games are meant to last 2, 3 to the next version or next one is coming out. So so they get the most bang for their buck and sell the most games. So I think that genre for me comfortably would be the one that I would pick, because I could see myself playing, Anthem and Division and Destiny, and rotating through all these different, types of games like that. Rage 2 falls in there, all those kind of games. Borderlands, obviously. So I could do that forever, forever. Like I don't think that would be a problem at all. As long as a new game coming out, I'm playing it for sure, and I don't think I'd ever get bored of that. So for me, that was a pretty easy pick. But once again, guys, if you didn't know, every single Monday I put out the poll of the week. So come holler at your boy. All my information is in the description below. Okay, so come follow us all. We here on the panel. Appreciate you guys. So that was actually the last topic that I had written up today, but we're gonna go ahead and cover a couple questions. So chat right now. Go ahead and throw your questions in the chat if you have any for us, any for the panel. Go ahead and throw them right now down in the chat. Appreciate everybody watching live. So much. Thank you guys, chat. So once again, questions down in the chat. Go ahead and take a few questions. So it's been a good show so far. So I don't know if we missed anything, Fuzzy, that we didn't really get a chance to talk about. I know we talked a couple things pre-game that we maybe didn't cover live. So anything you guys want to cover?
Yeah, the Xbox One S all digital and
Yes.
kind of pre-leaked pricing. It's not finalized, but that suggested retail. It's a little high, I think. I'm hoping it's just a suggested retail price, just like with cars. They suggest that you pay this price, and nobody does. They always pay like 10 over cost or something along those lines, or 6 below invoice. But yeah, $250 for US. I think it was like $229 for UK or in euros, which kind of I guess translates into like $250 US. Yeah, that thing. I was hoping it would be like $199, so I can possibly pick one up as like the replacement for my kid's Xbox, and then just get rid of all of the physical. Well, not get rid of all the physical discs, but basically do away with like the last 10 or 12 games that I haven't repurchased as a digital copy that I bought as physical, or that they may have picked up as physical. But yeah, that price, and unless it comes with like, I don't know, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it just, I don't know, feels high, just a little high.
Yeah, we talked about this pregame, guys, and that's tough. I know we didn't get to that on the show, but I'm probably going to do an individual video about that once I do a little bit more research on actually what's going on and when I actually see what's going on. So I know you wanted to talk about the 2, Mojo. I know we talked about the pregame. So what are your opinion on that?
I really believe this is going to be a huge miss for Microsoft. Not even $199, like Fuzzy said. I think it has to come out at $149 so that they can actually hit that $99 on Black Friday, so they can actually move not a few 100,000 units, but a few million units of it. It's so late in the gen. You need that $99 console. I can remember picking up long after the PS3 and the 360 was out, a PS2 for $99. This is at the end of the gen. Microsoft needs to suck it up. If they got to lose a little bit of money on this, it would not hurt them, because everything's going to carry forward. And I just feel like they need to get more consoles in people's hands, because that streaming thing, I don't think it's going to be they're not ever going to hit 2 billion gamers or whatever silly number they throw out there, which is just corporate speak. They're talking about how many people has cell phones. And a lot of people that have cell phones are never going to play a game on it. They don't want to play games. They're never going to play a game on it. They're not getting that customer. The people that do play games on it, most of them already own consoles, or they play games on their computer. They're not hitting that. They need to get more consoles in people's houses, and this was an opportunity that they could have. They're never catching Sony. They're not going to sell 100 million by the end of the gen, but maybe they could, instead of ending the gen at 50, 55 million, maybe they could finish at 70 or 75 million and really roll into that next generation strong.
Okay.
149. I just think 149 retail, and then that way it can get discounted, and Black Friday sales for like $99, and those things would fly out of stores. But yeah, they would have to take a $10, $15, I don't know, maybe even $20 a console loss. I don't know how much it'd be. But it's going to be a miss if it comes out It's $250, and nobody's buying that. I don't think people buy it at $199. It's not going to sell a lot because you can get an S with an awesome 4K Blu-ray player in the S model right now for what, $220.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a movie guy, so that impresses me that the S actually outputs 4K movies, and yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So we'll see where that goes. This E3 is gonna be crazy. That's all I know. Well, what I just said in my last video. What did I say, Fuzzy? Watch the rumors. Watch the leaks. Watch the rumors. We're not talking about the leaks in the grocery store. We talk about the leaks online. Watch the leaks. Be careful. Stay off because you never know what you see. Things have legs. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You never know what'll happen. We're gonna go ahead and get to these questions because I got a couple guys here. My mod Shonsu, and then I got Born Distracted. So we're gonna go ahead with Born Distracted first. He said, "Did you like the Star Wars movie trailer?" Yes.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody else wants to cover that.
It's been waiting for a trailer for a while. So yeah, I'm as hyped about this one as I was for when Disney first did their first iteration for Star Wars. What was that, episode 7? So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I just got to wait until tickets are available online over at the movie tavern, so that me and the family can eat dinner and watch movie at the theater, either opening night or at least that opening weekend. So
yeah. What about you, Mojo?
I like the trailer, but I'm still a little weirded out with the whole using Skywalker name in the title since Luke's technically dead.
Yeah.
He can be a ghost Jedi or whatever, but I don't know. I think it's going to be fine. I actually like Abrams. I love his number 7. I didn't like that guy that directed the last one, Ryan, whatever his name is. I thought, he really mucked up a bunch of stuff, and I did not like that movie at all. So this one brought back that feel, just like when I watched the first trailers for number 7, and it's on that level. It looked pretty badass.
Yeah, nice.
I hopes again.
Nice.
And all these Star Wars movies haven't been bad. I actually loved Solo. I thought, wow, considering they took it away from Lord Miller and then ended up giving it to Richie Cunningham to make the movie to finish it, it came out pretty good. And the prequel, the other prequel, wow, I'm old. The title just dropped my head. Somebody help me here.
Oh yeah, before the Death Star thing. Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, where everybody dies at the end. God, I loved it. It's embarrassing I can't remember the title, but because I like the movie so well, it had just a few seconds of Darth Vader kicking ass at the end, and it was like, wow, it was a really good movie.
Yeah,
everybody bitches about these Star Wars movies, but there's only been that last one that wasn't that good because he screwed with the lore a little bit incorrectly, and instead of having Luke get his X-wing and flying back to wherever and helping, he astro projected silly stuff. And yeah, let's not go into that. This is not a Star Wars podcast because I can go on about that too. I've got all the Star Wars movies. Well, of course, not the newest ones, but the other ones. I have them on Laserdisc. Like I said, I got them on. I don't have any VHSs. I did get rid of all VHS tapes, but I've got them all on DVD, and I got the Blu-rays. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. And then we're going to go ahead and get to this next question. Shout out to the boy Shonsu, moderator of the year for sure. So he said gaming socialism. He said, would you like to see an end to exclusive all games everywhere? No. No, I don't know. Just for me, like, I don't like I mean, there has to be a distinction. There has to be. Just for like human consumption, like we go crazy if you get everything everywhere. Like there has to be a distinction. Like for me at least, like I don't want everything everywhere. I don't think people actually. So for me, I don't know how you could actually want everything everywhere. Like you have to. For me, I don't know. Maybe it's a different relationship I have, or maybe I'm looking at this from a wrong angle. But I feel like I'm not gonna say I need a reason to have one because I still play video games. I'm a gamer at the end of the day. I just enjoy them as a medium and a form of entertainment, but that exclusivity is I mean, why do people buy iPhones? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a million Androids, all these phones make phone calls, but there's a certain like recognition. Why do people have American Express cards? There's a certain like recognition that comes along with having that product, having exclusivity, of having that product. And the the incentives for having that product, which are in this particular instance are video games or the actual software, you know. So I just think that there's something for that. I don't think that'll ever go away. I think that's a competitive thing. You have to have a reason to differentiate yourself. And those are the reasons, are the exclusives for me at least. So, Mojo, what is your opinion on that, man?
You nailed it. I love exclusives. Exclusives not just sell consoles. It's just important, and games shouldn't be on everything. Now, I will admit, back in the Super Nintendo day and the Genesis, I liked when the same game would come out on both systems, but they'd be different.
Yeah.
I always thought that was cool. Hey, I'm getting the game, but I'm getting the version for this.
Yeah.
I know that was okay, but no, you've got to have it. It defines a console having certain exclusives on it, and I've never minded Microsoft putting their games out on the PC. They need those sales, especially this generation. They needed extra game sales, so it only made sense. But then instead of selling it on PC, they just give it to them. I don't get that, but that whole program. But exclusives define a console, define a gaming system, genre, whatever. Even if it's going to be a streaming service, it's going to need exclusives. Yeah, it's important. Every game shouldn't be on every system. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why some people eat McDonald's, and some people say it's the worst garbage ever, and they'll eat Burger King, or they'll eat Wendy's, or they'll eat Five Guys, or you got to have your exclusive thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, to me, I don't even think that's even a hard question for me, at least. Some people may differentiate. Some people are maybe just that neutral. I'm not. So I don't.
Some people are like, I can't afford to buy all these consoles. You know what? Over the years, I've literally had to wait mid-gen. I mean, I was a single dad raising 2 kids.
Yeah.
It'd be mid-gen. I'm like, all right, I don't mind waiting. They'll have a bunch of good games out by then. Yeah. And I would save. It took a couple years, and then I would drop my money on that PS2. Yeah. I was still using the PS1 or whatever, after then. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get what you want. I'm at a place now. I've been able this gen. I've got everything. I've even got a Switch, and Switch. Wow, for the exclusives, Nintendo puts those games out, and they're just amazing.
Yeah, Nintendo wouldn't even be a brand without exclusives. They wouldn't even be Nintendo. There's that's the majority of their business. That's everything. Nintendo is all about it. They cherish their exclusives more than any of these other any of these other companies. I mean, Mario, those games are near and dear, and that's their bread and butter.
I never bought a Wii U, but it's so cool now that a lot of those Wii U games are getting put on the Switch because some of them were amazing.
Yeah.
And but I just returned from Korea. I've been living over there for like 3 years. Had both my kids with me over there. And when we had just gotten back to the States, not a few months before the Wii U dropped, but I remember being in a GameStop. And honestly, I thought it was just an attachment or an extra thing for the Wii. And I'm like, we don't need that right now. That looks like a silly screen controller. I like their version of the Pro Controller that they had back with the original Wii. It was a whole new console. It was like, wow, yeah, they mismarketed that. But they eventually had a bunch of great exclusives. And it's so good that those are now on the Switch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. So, man, that's definitely a good one, man. So great questions, everybody. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap everything up, man. It was a phenomenal show, man. Had such a good time talking with the panel here today. We have Mojo on the show. I'm gonna let you go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you in a second, Mojo. But I want to thank everybody that's here watching live. Appreciate you guys doing this every single week. Once again, smack the like button on your way out. Tell your friends about the podcast. If you guys enjoy video games, you know where to find us right here on YouTube, baby. We always providing that heat every single Saturday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, man. Until I change that time, it's always going to be that. But we're going to go ahead and let our guest of the hour, man, Mr. Mojo, appreciate you, first of all, sir, taking the time out, hanging out with us, talking some games, man. Thank you so much, man. Once again, I tell everybody it's on the show. Everything. Everybody. you're always invited on. Now that you've been on once, your family, you may get a random DM tweet from me one day saying, "Hey, you available?" So you never know when I
Yeah,
pop up.
I'm
Okay?
usually off Saturday night, so anytime
All
you
right.
need me, you just send that DM, and people can find me. I work 12-hour shifts during the week, so I don't get on a lot of those podcasts. But on the weekend stuff, you can usually find me in the chats of whatever's the popular Xbox podcasts. I'm on Twitter all the time, so I'm around, and I'm going to eventually on a Friday or Saturday, probably Saturday because I'm almost always off. I'm going to try to do like an afternoon podcast, maybe
Nice.
and then maybe even do a follow up one on Sunday that'll be more like movie specific. I'm just waiting for my schedule to change. I'm about to get off these 12-hour shifts, hopefully, and I'll be on 8-hour shifts. It'll still be overnight. I'll be working 10 p.m. to 6 in the morning. But it's such a huge difference between being on 12s now, work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And it's
Oh
a
yeah.
beast. It's
Oh
a beast. Try to do anything after that.
yeah.
But anyway, thanks for having me on. I love it. And I am available. So just anytime you just shoot me that message and I'm there.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate it. Once again, you guys say hello. I'll make sure I put his information for Twitter in the description below as well. Hit him up. I'm sure you can find it when you follow him on Twitter. Sure, he has his Xbox gamer tag in there as well. So make sure you guys hit him up there. Do some gaming anytime he's on, man. Then we're gonna go ahead and bounce the ball right over to my guy. We always pick and rolling every single week. Me and my guy Fuzzy, man. I appreciate you so much, man. Shout out to Jarhead. I know you listening, bro. Shout out to Zalker. I love you, bro. I know you listening too, man. We gonna figure this damn time thing out and get you back on a regular basis, my guy. I'm gonna make sure of it, man, for sure. But Fuzzy, appreciate you, man. Every single week, super consistent, man. Let everybody know where they can find you if they don't already know.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere. PSN fuzzy_Belvedere, and no, I'm not changing my PSN. And you can find me on Xbox Live at Fuzzy Space Belvedere. I'm usually playing. Well, now it's Division 2 and Anthem, but I was playing a little bit of Forza earlier as well. So yeah, I'm usually doing one of those big games. But man, great show, great topics, great having you on here, Mojo. It was fun.
Let's get it. Let's get it for sure. Once again, your host with the most, PTK Blam across the board on Xbox Live, on YouTube as well. On Twitter, actually, is my name. You guys, once again, all that information is in the description below. Once again, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, guys. Let's make sure we do this. I know I'm going to make sure we do. Love you guys so much. Once again, next week, same time, same place, we will meet again. Another awesome guest, man. Appreciate you guys so much. We will see you guys next week. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We're out of here, everybody.
Later.